morning dear students. Let us learn another important chapter in your biology syllabus, that is how do organisms reproduce. You are learning a life process called reproduction in this chapter. See, life processes means you will remember that in your earlier classes you learnt about different processes like respiration, digestion, transportation, excretion. And in a separate chapter you learnt about the control and coordination, that is nervous system also. Here you are learning different types of reproductory methods, namely asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction in this chapter. So before learning in detail about the different types of reproductory methods, so we have to know certain things in general. So what is reproduction? See, reproduction is the process where living organisms produce their new organisms which exactly resemble their parents. After you are learning about the types of reproductory methods. So before learning how the organisms will reproduce, so we have to think about certain basic factors. So basic concepts, after learning those, we can study the methods of reproduction in detail. So before knowing how the organisms reproduce, it is very essential to think why any organism has to reproduce. See, organism has to reproduce because it has to carry on its next generation. See, if the life processes like respiration, transportation are not taking place in any organism, means it cannot survive. So it is not able to take oxygen or not able to digest the food, means it will die. But this life process, that reproduction, if any organism is not able to reproduce, means it can survive. It can finish its life cycle. So what is the necessity of this reproduction? Means we are looking at the diversified nature of living organisms on this earth, including plants, animals and microorganisms. See, we are looking at a species of plant, means they will be in a huge number. So when we look at a sheep, when we look at a deer, so you will find a huge crowd of those species. See, how is this possible? Because of this life process called reproduction. So by reproducing, any organism continues its next generation or progeny. So any organism has to be recognized on this earth should necessarily reproduce or show the property of reproduction. When you are observing any organism giving birth to the young ones, for example, a dog giving birth to a puppy, a cat giving birth to a kitten, or a human being giving birth to a baby, so does they look similar to their parents? So it may not be always true. See, the organisms newly born may have similarities to their parents. Sometimes you may find some of the differences. See, why this happens? To know all this, to learn reproduction, we have to learn some of the basic fundamental concepts. So all organisms are made up of cells. See, we have plants, animals and microorganisms. So we will know how is the different types of reproductory methods in them. So let us study what happens in the cells of the organisms when they grow up. So an organism gives birth to the young one, means it has to have group of cells. So these cells has to fully get developed. So any organism has to reproduce, means the cells in them has to divide. So here we find one phenomenon called cell division. As we are learning about reproduction, it is very important to know about the cell division. See how an organism reproduces, means any organism has to develop in its form. So after full development of the body of an organism, it will be having the capacity to reproduce. Here inside the body of an organism, the cells has to divide if it wants to grow. So in a growing organism, so there will be cell division. So there are two types of cell divisions, namely somatic cell division are called, it is mitosis, and reproductory cell division called meiosis. See, somatic are body cells. So in organism having the cells, so apart from the reproductory structure, where you can find different parts, all those parts, the cells will show one type of cell division, so that is called mitosis. Here one cells so divides into two cells, two daughter cells. Here the cell is having the genetic material, that is DNA, which is said to be in the 2n amount. So n plus n becomes 2n. So n amount of cell comes from the father and n amount of cell will come from the mother. So both get united and a cell will have two sets of chromosomes, which is said to be in 2n number. So these cells divides into two cells in the body like skin, blood, bone, nervous tissue, muscular tissue, epithelial tissue. So in all those tissues, the cells having the 2n number of genetic material is transferred to the daughter cells exactly the same amount. So if 2n number of amount of genetic material present in the parental cell exactly get transferred to the daughter cells, having again 2n and 2n amount of genetic material. And coming to the another type of cell division called meiosis. So this takes place in reproductory cells. Reproductory cells found in reproductory structures. So in plants we have reproductory structure as flower consisting of the male part, that is the pistil, stamen. So the stamen having the male gamete called pollen, and the female part is considered as carpel or ovary. So inside that ovules are the gametes. And coming to the animals, we have the sperm as the male gamete, where they are produced in the male reproductory structure, that is testis. And we have egg as the female gamete, so produced from the ovary. So these two cells will be having n amount of genetic material. Here the reproductive structure having a cell that is consisting of 2n amount of genetic material. So when it divides into two, so the genetic material will be reduced to its half, having n amount of genetic material in its daughter cells. So this is considered as meiosis first step. So in the meiotic first step, so there will be reduction in the genetic material. So coming to the next stage, that is meiosis 2. So the genetic material, so whatever there in these two cells, so exactly the same amount get transferred to the daughter cells as we see in the mitosis. Here in meiosis, so the parental cell transforms to form 4 daughter cells. So where these 4 daughter cells having the reduced amount of genetic material are said to be gametes. So pollens and ovules in case of plants, egg and sperm in case of animals. So what is the necessity of reduction in the genetic material? So here the genetic material is reduced because a male gamete has to fuse with the female gamete. Here the male gamete, like a sperm in animal, so fuses with the female gamete egg. So n amount of genetic material of this cell unites with the n number of genetic material with that of the female. So n plus n forms 2n. So here again 2n amount of genetic material gets retained as like that of the skeletal cell. Here the genetic material is responsible for all the characters of the organism. So when it is getting a set of genetic material from father or the male species and a set of genetic material from the female species, that is mother, so both the characters can be seen in the progeny or the offspring. So this is very essential feature of this meiosis. Whereas in mitosis, so it takes place only in body cells where one cell divides into two cells and exact amount of genetic material is seen. So we can see that in skin. So skin, when it is growing, so it has got similar type of cells having the same amount of genetic material. But in the meiosis, so a reduced amount of genetic material can be seen. So where in the next step, so gametes has to fuse. So gametes has to fuse, and again the original, that is the 2n amount of genetic material has to be retained. So this is the essentiality of knowing the cell division before learning the reproduction. So although you are not learning about this in your chapter, so you will be learning it in your later classes, but I have explained you in a brief manner so that there is no confusion for you in understanding the reproduction method.
You are seeing the two types of cell divisions here, meiosis and mitosis. In meiosis, you can see a cell dividing into two cells. So the genetic material inside the cell during meiosis is reduced to its half, where 2n number of chromosomes are transferred to the daughter cells having only n amount of genetic material. Those two cells again divide to form 4 cells, each cell carrying n number of chromosomes, whereas in mitosis, the cell having 2n number of genetic material, exactly same amount transferred to the daughter cells.
So after learning about the types of cell divisions, so let us study the importance of DNA. See, what is the role of DNA in the reproduction? So DNA shows one important character so that it gets replicated. DNA replicates itself so that the exact copy of it will be formed. So when a cell is dividing, so the genetic material consisting of DNA, it undergoes a process called DNA replication. Replica means the copy. Exact copy of DNA will be formed. So DNA replication is the process where DNA synthesizes complementary copy of itself during the process of cell division. So let us learn, so what is this DNA replication? And we should particularly know about this. What is this complementary copy of a DNA? As we are learning about the reproduction, it is very important to know about the DNA replication. See, what is this DNA? As we have learned, inside the cell there is a genetic material called chromatin network. So when the cell is about to divide, so these transform to form short and thick structures called chromosomes, where chromosomes have the countless number of DNA in it. Deoxyribonucleic acid is the long form of the DNA. So this DNA structure was first introduced by the two scientists Watson and Crick, James Watson and Francis Crick. So these two scientists, they found the structure of, they framed the structure of this DNA. So this DNA consists of double helical structure. So here you can find the helix. So two threads, when you make them cross together, so it looks like this. So two strands, when you open this, so when you uncoil, it looks like this. So it has got 3 chemicals in that. So chemical substances present inside the DNA are the pentose sugar, phosphate group and nitrogenous base. So these 3 comprises mainly of this DNA. See, this one ribose sugar is attached to phosphate group, again phosphate group attached to this ribose sugar, where each one has been linked to nitrogenous bases. So there are 4 types of nitrogenous bases. So namely A, G, C, T, where you can be called them adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. Here there is one special feature of DNA. See, this adenine always pairs with thymine. So here if I say A, nitrogenous base A, it always pairs with T, thymine. So the type of bond, so you find a chemical bond in between them consisting of hydrogen bond. So here double bond you can see here. So when you find here guanine, so guanine always pairs with another nitrogen base, that is C, cytosine. So here you can see the 3 bonds are triple bond. A and T, between A and T you find a double bond, between G and C you find a triple bond. So this is the rule of the structure of DNA, where adenine always pairs with thymine and guanine always pairs with cytosine. See, this always happens and this will be alternate with one another. So the structure of DNA looks like this. So this DNA gets uncoiled when it is about to undergo replication. So here the chromosomes in human beings are said to be 46. So 46 chromosomes are present in the nucleus of human being. So here, so among these 46, so again same number of chromosomes. So double the amount of chromosomes. 92 chromosomes are formed inside the cell. So as the cell has to get divided, it has to make the copy of itself. So 46 chromosomes, so they get doubled to form again another set of chromosomes. So they will be replicated. So this DNA replication goes like this. A DNA strand uncoils. See, here you can see the uncoiling of the, or unzipping, you can say unzipping of the DNA coil takes place. So here you can see the 2 strands of the DNA getting separated. Here phosphate group and pentose sugar group will be there. But what makes the difference is, we can see in these nitrogenous bases. So this strand has got A and this strand has got T. So this is with G, means it is with C, T, A, T, G, C. See, like this, these 2 get separated. See what happens now? There will be synthesis of some more number of nitrogen bases. So inside the cytoplasm, so as the cell is getting divided, so here protein synthesis takes place. So these nitrogen bases will be synthesized with the help of ribosomes. See, ribosomes will prepare the same protein synthesis. So here for the nitrogen base A, so another T is formed, and for this T another A is formed. So like this. So for G, C is formed, for C, G is formed, and for T, A is formed and A, T is formed. Similarly for A, T, A, G, C, G. See, like this, another strand of DNA is formed. Here also another strand of DNA is formed. So what is the importance of DNA replication here? So as we are learning this reproduction process, so we are learning that from parents the exact the similarly looking offsprings are born. See that whatever characters we find in parents get transformed to the offsprings or the next generation. So this is because of this DNA. So whatever there in the parental DNA, so the exact the characters will be transformed to the daughter cells. So here the species, so the progeny, new species formed will be having so most of the characters which are similar in their parents. Here always there may not be characters, the characters which are transformed to the offsprings may not be always same. Here sometimes you can find some changes here. So when the formation of these nitrogen bases is going on, so there may be some changes in the formation of those nitrogen bases. So where you can find little changes when compared to the parents. So this makes variations in the newborn organisms. So the parents, whatever nature we find in them, so those may not be transferred or inherited to their young ones. See, they with the new combination of these nitrogenous bases, so they may have certain improved features. So this is the basis of evolution. See, as we have learned in evolution, organisms have been slowly evolved. So in that, so there is a changes in the DNA which also causes changes in the characters in the species. So those species having the difference in this DNA have showed new characters in them. So why there is a need of the changes in the characters of the living organisms. See why the fish were there. So fish got evolved to become the amphibians. So amphibians evolved to become the reptiles. So what is the need of all these changes? See, as these changes took place, so there was an improvement in the characters of one organism over the other organism. A fish cannot be compared with that of a mammal. So as we learned in the evolution, so there was a changes in the organism from the primitive stage to an advanced stage. Here the fish was living only in the water. So it was living only in the aquatic habitat. Whereas as we go with that of the higher classes, so we saw that so the organisms able to live both in land and water. So when we are seeing mammals, we see all highly advanced characters in them.
DNA replication. Every time cell divides, each daughter cell receives a copy of the original DNA. Let us see how replication takes place by observing this animation. You are seeing a double helical natured DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. You are seeing enzymes like helicase, which is helping in unzipping or uncoiling of the DNA. The separated DNA strands are called leading strand and lagging strand. You can now see short fragments of DNA which are newly synthesized. See, this enzyme helps in creating or synthesizing short fragments of DNA. You can see the enlarged view of the DNA, where you are seeing the template strand, that is the original DNA strand, and a new strand where units of chemicals being joined, you can see here. So this is the phosphate group and deoxyribose sugar. So they have been joined here. And you are seeing the nitrogenous bases. You can see the short DNA fragments being formed newly. New DNA is formed and they have been joined by the help of enzymes. Newly formed DNA strand is called Okazaki fragment. So enzymes help in joining these short fragments of DNA. You can see the enzyme called ligase here. It is helping in joining of DNA strands. See, enzymes help in unzipping or uncoiling of the DNA, and you are also seeing newly formed DNA strands being formed and being joined with the help of enzymes. You can see the new strand of DNA formed like this.
So we learned how cell gets divided. So we learned two types of cell divisions and we knew the structure of DNA. So again we will recall what we have learned. So we learned that during the cell division, there will be genetic material inside the cell called DNA. So before cell division, this genetic material along with all the cell organelles get duplicated. So whatever amount of DNA present inside the cell is said to be in 2n number. So it will exactly copy itself to form double the amount of DNA. So how this happened? So suppose you consider a strand of DNA consisting of two strands, two helix. So double helical structure we will say. So this double helix of DNA gets uncoiled. So the two strands having innumerable number of nitrogenous bases inside that. So for them complementary copy of nitrogen bases are newly formed. For example, for adenine, thymine is produced for thymine adenine. Like that, for cytosine, guanine is produced. For guanine, cytosine is produced. Like this, in series, all the nitrogenous bases, so they will prepare their complementary copy of the nitrogenous bases. So this a part of DNA will be denoting the character of a species. So all the different characters of the species, for example, the height of a person, color of the hair, color of the eye, then the color of the skin, all are regulated by these part of DNA having innumerable number of nitrogenous bases. So when a cell divides, so it divides into two cells. See, these two cells, they appear to be similar, but inside them, so the DNA copy cannot be exactly identical. So during DNA replication, so you can see the double helix DNA getting separated. Here two strands synthesizes the new strands. So again they become coiled. So these coiled DNA again gets accommodated inside the cell. So these two cells having this DNA which has got duplicated, here these nitrogenous bases may not exactly resemble the parental cell. There may be certain changes in these nitrogenous bases which are newly formed. So that leads to the variation. So that variation means when we compare a parental cell, the daughter cell may not be exactly similar to the parent. So during DNA replication, there may be some slight changes which makes the new organism born having some new characters in them. So this is very essential. The variations in this DNA formation is very essential because the organisms will be living in various environment. So it lives in various habitats. So places of living of organisms is different. See, some organisms live in the cold areas, cold regions. Some species or organisms live in the hot conditions like desert. See what happens, there may be changes in the environment or climatic conditions. So in the climate may suddenly get changed. So a desert may have high rainfall or suddenly the temperature of the desert gets become reduced to very low temperature. So at that time what happens, the organism has to adapt to that changing environment. So how it could adapt? Because of these DNA changes taking place in their body, so it can adapt to the changing environment. So this can be seen in the species like dinosaurs. So when the earth was born, all the organisms was born, and after fish, amphibians were formed. So after amphibians, reptiles were formed. So reptiles, examples were these dinosaurs. So these dinosaurs were occupying almost all the parts of the earth. So these were inhabiting earth for a very long time. Suddenly there was a climatic change on the earth. Suddenly meteorites fall took place on the earth, so which resulted in bombardment of those meteorites onto the earth, leading to sudden rise in the temperature of the earth. So that changed environment, so could not be withstood or withstand by these dinosaurs. So all the dinosaurs, they become extinct in a short span of time. So if there was a variation in this DNA, so those dinosaurs could be still seen. When DNA gets replicated, you can see the new strands of DNA being formed. Here there may not be always true that, so the DNA formed is exactly similar to the parental DNA. So it may have changes. So what about the type of these changes? So if the changes, so if there is AT, TA or GC, see like this, if the DNA strand has been formed like this, so if there is a slight change where instead of TA, CG is there, means there is slight change. So this results in change in the characters of the organisms. Suppose we have learned that, so in fish there were respiratory organs called gills. So as they got evolved, so the fishes were transformed to the amphibians. So where the respiratory organs have become transformed from gills to lungs. So the slight changes in the organisms are because of these changes in a slight manner. So if there is a drastic change in the DNA, so what happens? So if there is a more change in the DNA strands, newly formed DNA, so there will be change in the whole characteristics of the organism. A cell is able to undergo several life processes like respiration, digestion. So if there is a drastic change in the DNA, so that cell may not undergo any of the life processes. So there may be hindrance in all the functions taking place in the cell, and the cell may die. So the DNA, while it is replicating, so if it undergoes variations in slight manner, it is of benefit or it is beneficial. So a drastic change in the DNA is always harmful. We learnt about the introductory part of the lesson, how do organisms reproduce. In this part, we learnt about the types of cell division and the method of DNA replication, importance of DNA replication, where we learnt about the variations taking place during the DNA replication, which leads to the new characters in the organisms, which is having a link with evolution. So after learning these basic concepts regarding reproduction, let us study about the real concept of this lesson, so that is types of reproduction. So before that, I will tell you the definition of reproduction again. So what is reproduction? Reproduction is the process of producing the new organisms which resemble their parental organism. So reproduction is of two types, asexual method and sexual method. Here the terms sexual and asexual refers to the male and female species of the organisms. discussing about the asexual type of reproduction. Here there is no differentiation of the living organism into the male species or female species. Here some of the lower organisms like bacteria, amoeba, plasmodium, planaria, spirogyra, then rhizopus, yeast. So in all these lower organisms, we cannot find the organism which can be differentiated into male or female species. They are able to reproduce with some of the primitive reproductory method called asexual method, where there is no involvement of gametes. You learned that in a cell division called meiosis, a reproductory cell divides to form 4 daughter cells, where those 4 daughter cells are called by the name gametes. Gametes otherwise are called sex cells. So male sex cells are called male gametes, female sex cells are called female gametes. So we have in plants pollen and ovules as the gametes. In animals we have sperm and egg as gametes. So here in this asexual method we don't have any gametes differentiation into male gamete or female gamete. So here asexual method is the one where there is no involvement of the gametes or no involvement of the species into male or female species. Here some of the asexual methods you are learning are fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, vegetative propagation and spore formation. So fission is a type of asexual method seen in amoeba, bacteria and leishmania. So where you find the binary fission. And in a method called multiple fission, you have the example, the plasmodium. Here in an algae called spirogyra, we find a different method of asexual reproduction called fragmentation. Then in a parasite called planaria, which is a free living flatworm, so we find a method called regeneration. And in some of the organisms like yeast and hydra, we find budding as the asexual reproductory method. So in a plant called bryophyllum, we find a asexual method called vegetative propagation. And in a fungus called rhizopus, we find the spore formation. So let us learn all these asexual methods of reproduction in detail.
Let us learn different methods of asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a form of reproduction that involves the reproduction of a new organism by a single organism. You are looking at the fission process in case of bacteria. Several bacterial cells are undergoing the fission process. Fission refers to the division of parent cell into 2 parts. This is the simplest type of reproduction and is seen in single-celled organisms such as amoeba and paramecium. You are seeing fission process in the cell of amoeba, where nucleus is being split into 2. 2 cells of amoeba are formed and 2 amoeba are split into 4 amoeba. You are seeing fragmentation in case of spirogyra and flatworm, where algae or planaria splits into 2, where each fragment develops into a new organism. You are seeing budding process in case of yeast and in hydra, and in third diagram you are seeing the spore formation in rhizopus or bread mold. So when you take a sugar solution mixed with yeast cells, you take a drop of water on the slide and observe under the microscope. You can see the yeast cell getting divided. So this structure is called bud, where the nucleus splits into two and transforms to the newly formed yeast cell. You are seeing several yeast cells which are showing the budding process. Hydra also undergoes a asexual method of reproduction called budding. So where the body part is showing a bud. You are seeing the spore formation in case of Rhizopus or bread mold, where spore is germinating on the decaying bread. You are seeing the decaying bread where the fungus like bread mold is growing by the asexual method of reproduction called spore formation. Here you are seeing planaria where there is a asexual method of reproduction called regeneration. If the body of planaria is cut into 3 pieces, each piece of the body part grows into a new organism. So coming to another asexual method called vegetative propagation. So it refers to the production of new plants from the parts of the mother plant such as root, stem or a leaf without help of any reproductive organ. You are seeing a potato having several eyes. The part which consists of eye, when it is placed on the wet soil, it becomes a new seedling plant. So you are seeing the ginger which shows the vegetative method of reproduction, and you are seeing the growth of the onion plant by the vegetative method of propagation, and you are seeing the strawberry where the stem reaches the ground and upon the wet soil it germinates into a new plant. So you are seeing a bryophyllum plant where the parts like leaf, stem or a root shows the property of reproduction.